Hey gang, Tony here. I've been to the flea market and some yard sales, and I have a ridiculous amount of stuff here. So strap in because it really is quite a lot of stuff. I have everything from the mundane to the exciting, everything from the not really worth much to the worth a good amount of money. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way the day went. It didn't start out very promising because it had rained all night, and then the when I woke up this morning, everything was super wet outside, and it was very foggy. And yeah, we didn't expect it to be great, and frankly, it wasn't technically. Like the flea market wasn't packed. There were a lot of missing vendors. It was a lot of dead space, but I happened to find a lot of stuff. There's this one dude at the really it's a couple. It's a woman and I think they're married, but they basically just like come in a truck and they put out a ton of boxes all in this one big area, and it's a very popular. You can't really call it a booth, but it's a popular seller. Everyone kind of hits over that because you dig through all these boxes and you never know what you're gonna find. Most of what I got today was from there. So what I ended up doing was I kept finding all these little things. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a plastic bag, and I'm just gonna jam the plastic bag as full as possible. Because I, at a certain point, I kind of figured like no matter how packed the bag was, they were gonna probably quote me about the same price. So I ended up paying. They wanted $25 for everything I got there, and I ended up paying. Or I said 20, and they took it. So I paid 20. I'm not going to show you everything all together though, because I like to save the best for last, and some of the stuff that I got there were the better items. So I'll show you a lot of what I got there though. I'm going to start with kind of like the saddest thing of the booth. Nearing the end, I was kind of digging through some boxes that had a lot of Halloween stuff, and I saw this Ziploc that had like I couldn't really see what was in there, but it looked like there were a bunch of like Halloween cards and things. I was like, all right, that's cool. I really, like I said, I really just wanted to pack the bag as tight as possible because I knew no matter what was in there that they were going to quote one price for everything, and like one item more or less wasn't going to change that, if you know what I mean. Like when I brought the bag over, the woman sort of just like saw the like opened it, kind of peeked in for a second, was like, all right, and quoted a price. So the reason this is kind of sad though is, and I clearly I didn't take these out and check beforehand. There's a lot of cool cards in here, but they're all used. And when I say sad, I don't mean sad that like, oh, I don't get cards. I mean sad that like these were someone's Halloween cards and they're all filled out. Actually, that's not true. This is the only one that wasn't used. So this one is blank on the inside. But all the other ones, like there's this is a nice one. And then you pop in there. Well, that one doesn't have anything on the inside, but on the back it says spooky 1095. So this was from October of 1995. And that's the only thing written on that card. This is one of those cards, like the cat is fuzzy. It's really cool. I like those. And we got, I'm going to show you every single card because, you know, it's a lot of stuff. But, like, look at what they did. They put all these stickers in there. And it's signed down there, love mom and dad, boo 2. I think they must have had, oh, and look, it says Pumpkin Heaven up there where all the stickers are. These are all from the 90s. So pretty neat. All of them are signed like either from Grammy and Grandpop and Boo. Always with Boo. See that? Or like Mom and Dad and Boo, and also sometimes Spooky. And yeah, I don't know, there's just something really sad about like this kind of thing showing up at a flea market that is clearly, you know, heartfelt stuff. I don't know what happens that this ended up in boxes at a flea market. I guess maybe whoever, I kind of hope that like, they didn't like pass away or something, and that maybe they just were getting rid of stuff and they didn't want to keep this stuff anymore. But yeah, so there's a whole bag. I know I said I wasn't gonna show you every one of them, and then I kind of just kept showing you them. But there's a lot of cool ones. Hey Luna, come on. Luna's trying to crawl up on me right now. I'll just flip through some of the other ones. So there are a couple of Thanksgiving ones in there too. That was a printout. So I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do with these. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I feel bad that people don't have their cards if they're still around, but then also, like, they're not mine. They're not my parents. But I also feel weird throwing them away. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think people buy used cards. So I'll probably end up throwing them away, I guess. But so that was that, and then there's a couple other little things in that Ziploc that were like noteworthy, I guess. We had a couple of little decorations, just little wood decorations, a witch and boo. And then there's also a bunch of those like cling. They're all Thanksgiving ones. They're the little cling decorations that you stick up on windows. And they're all... I kind of peeled them all apart before to look at them, but they're all kind of stuck together again now. So, I mean, you know what these are. There's a pretty cool pumpkin guy in there somewhere. So, that was... Oops, I'm just dumping stuff everywhere. That was, That was one of the lesser items, clearly. Right with that stuff, I got a whole bunch of other paper stuff. But this stuff is a bit cooler. So we got a stack of vintage Halloween cups, paper cups, with ghosts and pumpkins on them. They're pretty neat. I don't know if they're worth much. I mean, I'm not going to sell paper cups, but, you know. I like buying stuff like that. These were actually with the cards. I just kind of stuck it with this stuff because it all goes together. But there are a bunch of napkins from Gibson Greetings that are kind of neat. A little stack of those. And we have... Of the plates, there's only one of these, but this is my favorite paper plate. And then there's also a little stack of this one. These look newer. I'll probably just use those. And I can't really clock the year on, like, these look a little vintage, but also a little new, so maybe 90s. Just a minor stack of those as well. So that was all the paper stuff. Cups, plates, napkins. You know, I have a lot of stuff like this kicking around. Sometimes if they're newer things, I'll end up using them for the holidays. Other times if they're like real vintage, or if I figure they're actually worth something, sometimes I save them. So this is still all, you know, I mean, that's probably my least favorite stuff I'm showing you first. This, I don't know why I took it, to be honest, but it was sitting there and I just tossed it in the bag. But it's a Cheetos Flamin' Hot Crunchy, like, wallet, Percy wallet kind of looking thing. I don't know. It's pretty, it's a new item. I don't really know why. I was just like, at a certain point, kind of just throwing stuff in the bag to fill it up. So there's that. I thought this might... I took a shot on this. I thought it might have been worth something, but it's not really. Disney's yearbook for 1981. First printing. There's a little writing on it here and there. It says 82, 83, 84 for some reason. I don't know why they put that on there. But the company does, or Disney did, put out a whole bunch of these for each year. And, so there are other ones for the 80s and 90s. And I think they kind of, see there's some writing in there, I think they only go for like $5, $6, $7, and with the writing, probably not worth even trying to sell. But sort of a neat time capsule of of 81. I was born in 1980, so that was another reason I picked this up. I was like, well, it's like a year after I was born, kind of neat. And then right next to that was another little book. It's a little comic, actually. Sonic the Hedgehog, The Adventures of Sonic and Donut Lord, which I'm told... Well, I'm not told. I looked it up. And you could kind of tell from that picture that it's from the movie. So this may have been like a promotional thing that came with the DVD, maybe? I don't know. It was just kind of sitting there in a box. I don't know if it came with anything or if it was like a promo thing that they sold separately, but they go for like maybe 10, 12 bucks. Next up, a couple of games. We got From Dusk Till Dawn PC game, which actually does have the booklet in there. There's the game. Has pretty thick booklet that came with it, but it does not have the rest. With PC games, whenever I see like just a CD PC game like that, I kind of know it's not going to be worth too much if it's a common thing, because it doesn't have the big box that it came in. So what PC games usually came in like a big cardboard box and sometimes some other stuff. So this is it's kind of incomplete. And frankly, I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I didn't even, again, I was just like throwing stuff in a bag. I saw From Dusk Till Dawn. I thought it was the soundtrack, the CD soundtrack. And I just kind of grabbed it without looking. And the other game is The Thing for PC. Had the PlayStation version of this at some point. I don't know if I sold it or if I still have it kicking around somewhere. But, again, neither of these are worth a tremendous amount of money. Around like 8, 9, 10 bucks, something like that, I think. Again, I kind of just, some of the stuff I grabbed because I was just like, that might be worth money, and I'm trying to sell some stuff on eBay and make some money back for the year. But this is one of those plastic plates like they used to do for McDonald's, but it's got Raggedy Ann and Andy on it. Again, kind of like another $10-ish item. I mean, if you're tracking this was all stuff I bought for a total of $20. So even if I did go through the trouble of selling this stuff at like 10 bucks a pop, 12, 15 bucks a pop, I'd make my money back and then some. Not sure if I have the time to do that or even the inclination to do that, if I'm being completely honest, but, it's an option. Got a little Snoopy figure with Woodstock on top. This has a little button on the back of the head that I think, see how the Woodstock is kind of clear? I think that used to light up Woodstock. And the arms move too. I can't see how this opens. Like, there's no visible screws or anything. There's no battery compartment. So I think it was one of those things like once it stopped working, that's it. And it does not work. I think it's from the 90s. So, yeah, still kind of a neat little figure. I like Snoopy stuff. A skull. Little plastic skull. I don't think there's anything special about this, but as I was throwing stuff in the bag, it has some writing on the back there. I didn't really look to see what the writing said at any point, though. Probably just says made in China. No, it says something else there. Can't really make it out, but Yeah, it's just a solid plastic skull. I don't know what it goes to, or if it was just like one of those things that was sold in a convenience store for Halloween decorations. Probably the case. But again, I was filling out my bag, and I'm gonna leave behind a skull. No, I'm not gonna leave behind a skull. Okay, this is actually gonna get me some money. I think I am gonna sell this. This was a mercenary thing of me, but so there's this little box, and inside are a ton of accessories for the 1999 WCW figures. So you could see stuff like trash can that says WCW on it. And some of this stuff is like interactive. So that's a trash can, but if you like crushes, which is pretty neat. Got a dumpster that, again, kind of, I don't know if it's supposed to, yeah, it does. Okay, so it kind of like, and then I guess you do something to it and it crushes. Neat, right? Got a big locker. Got a collapsible table that says NWO on it. New World Order. Oh my god. It's all breaking apart, but you know, it's a little table. And this just fits in there. It collapses, it breaks apart. It's supposed to be things that you bust on each other's heads. And then we got a gate as well that has NWO on it. And alright. So, you know, like, in my mind, I was thinking usually accessories like that, that's the kind of thing that gets lost in the mix and people need for their collections. So I'm going to see if I can sell that. Alright. Yeah, okay, so a couple more things. Well, a bunch more, really. I also got this little snow globe with a witch inside, and there are bats in there. So you see the little bats flying around? It's pretty awesome. There is a button on the bottom. I pressed the button earlier, and it started making a sound that was very annoying, like just, and it wouldn't stop. It eventually finally did stop. This does come off, like I could get that out of there, and there is a couple batteries. So I'm thinking they're probably dead batteries that I have to swap out. But otherwise, it's a neat little snow globe. I kind of like it. So I need batteries for that guy. And I got this Halloween nightlight with a ghost and a pumpkin. It's a little cutie for me. I'll probably sell that as well. Halloween nightlight. Nice in the box. I could test it, see if it works, but probably does. And then I got another thing that's kind of broken, but I like the look of it. It's a big old Halloween candle. This is easily put back in there, so that's not the broken part. The broken part is that one of the wires has become desoldered from the bulb in there. So I have to, there you can see it now. Oh, maybe you can't. That one wire, I need to fix that with solder, and then I could kind of just plop that back in, and I got to check the battery in the bottom to see if it's good in there. But other than that, I thought that was kind of a cool, I don't think it's old, maybe 2000s, maybe 90s, it's hard to say. But this is still all from that one $20 score. Now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to stop talking about that score. There are 3 more big items from that score, though, so that's not everything for the $20. but I want to move over to a couple other things, and I'll go back to that. Okay? So the first thing I bought at the flea market, thinking that there wasn't going to be anything else, I literally bought this only because I thought like I was going to find anything today. Luna's digging around down there. Just a little ceramic pumpkin. Halloween Horrors ceramic jack-o'-lantern. This was $1 at a different booth. Nothing special really, just a little ceramic pumpkin in there. Put a tea light or whatever. Yeah, not really my style, not really what I collect personally, but I honestly didn't think I was going to find anything today, so I bought it. And the last thing I bought of the day at the flea market was this Halloween mug for $1 from a different booth. It is a B International, BEE International. Not a super, I mean, you know, it's a mug. Costs what mugs cost. If you were to buy it online. I think it's a little old, but I really liked the look of it. It's a kind of a goofy one. So, not that I need more mugs, but hey, what are you going to do? Then from a completely different seller at the flea market, I purchased this derpy alligator. Look at him. Look at this silly guy. Look at his mouth is all curved up. It's an older one, and you could see there, made in Hong Kong, Imperial. So, you know, I like to, when I see Imperial stuff, I'll sometimes pick them up because they got a charm to them, you know. Godzilla stuff, I see a lot of Imperial Godzilla stuff on occasion. Snakes and alligators and dinosaurs and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was $1. I don't know. And from a different place, I got for 50 cents an Argo figure. These are bendy guys. They bend. They can be worth a few bucks, you know. It really the monsters, the dragons and things are the ones that go for more money. He's missing his weapon. I think probably alone only goes for about, look at his feet. Probably only goes for about around $10. I'm just gonna keep this, but Argo, I always forget the subtitle for it. It's like Argo the Other World or Another World or something like that. I actually had a bunch of these when I was a kid. My dad got us like the 3-headed or 2-headed dragon figure and some of these guys. And I had this for years. I had this memory of these like kind of bootleg sort of like not He-Man, not quite Dungeons and Dragons, like this, like just this random fantasy figure things. And it wasn't until last year when I was at RetroCon when I saw a bunch of these with the 2-headed dragon, and I was like, oh my god, that's the thing that I always think about and never knew what it was called. And I asked them, and they told me what it was. So when I saw him sitting in a box for 50 cents, I was like, Argo! So I got him. All right. Okay. What is it, Mama? You okay? Luna, my cat is very annoyed with me because I closed the door. Okay. So now I'm going to hop back. That was all the other random little trinkets and things. I'm going to hop back to the $20 score and show you the rest of the stuff that I got there, which I think really makes the whole lot worth it. The first thing is the silliest. It is a little animatronic skeleton. This is from Hallmark. They call it the Hallmark Hokey Pokey Skeleton. And his head is kind of on a spinny thing, and then the arms go down. It had old batteries in there, and when I tested it, it like sort of started to work, but then would stop because there wasn't enough battery power, and I didn't have any other extra batteries to put in, so I can't play it for you. But I think it just does like the hokey pokey, like put your whole skull in and take your whole skull out. And he's got a little spider on his head. Look at the cute little spider. So kind of, again, not really my style. Probably one of the things that may go into the selling pile. But, once I ensure that it is in fact working. I forget if I looked this one up. I think it's probably like not maybe $20, maybe. All right, so then we got this, which I love. It is the Scary Time radio show. It's one of the more generic versions of. There's a lot of kinds of these that have been kicking around the past few years. I've seen a lot of them. This one works, but I'm not 100% sure if this dial thing, like, it feels like it's supposed to move, but when I do it, it doesn't. So that's something I have to open up and check to see if there's something going on with the gears there. But otherwise, it does work. I don't know if it's on. God. Okay, that's very loud, and the squeaky sound was getting in my ear. But yeah, so maybe I have to let it play and then it'll do this. But I haven't gotten that far because it's very loud and it was right in my ear. But kind of cool, right? I like that guy. But my favorite one is this dude. Yeah, look at this guy. Got brains. So let's play him first. All right, right on. So what I like about this one is that it's given me, and I know that it's not like a licensed thing, and not entirely sure if it was meant to evoke these ideas, but to me, with the colored mohawk and the Got Brains shirt, and sitting on the tombstone, it feels very Return of the Living Dead. So when I saw it sitting there, I was like, no, I gotta grab that guy. Apparently, though, it's a Spooky Town thing, and they have other styles of it. They're like the country banjo playing skeleton, and some other ones, and they don't really go for much. They go for like maybe $20-$30. But this one I'm keeping. This is for me. So I do, as you know, usually when I buy stuff at the flea markets, I'm getting it for myself. But I've been trying to like sell some stuff too. The legs move. They're kind of hinged and stuff, which is, I like that aspect of it. But yeah, so that's one of my faves. All right. Okay. Those three things were with all that other stuff I showed you earlier, which was the $20 thing. Okay, so that was the flea market. There weren't a whole lot of yard sales going because of the rain, but there was like a pop-up sale right near my brother's house, and we stopped, and they had something, and I debated it, and I walked away, and then I went back, and I ended up getting it for $5. That's what they asked. They just wanted $5 for it. It's behind me. It's big and heavy, and I don't want to like lift it in front of the camera, so I'm just going to sort of shift over, and hopefully you'll be able to see the CRT television that I got right there. So that is a 13-inch Magnavox. Let me see if I can... maybe I don't want to mess around with that. I was going to see if I could zoom in the camera. I probably can, but I don't want to mess around. It has a built-in DVD player. Let me get this over here. Built-in DVD player. It's newer because it says MP3 on it. And it does work. It did not have a remote control with it. And initially I bought it because I've been sort of wanting like a small CRT that I can hook up my retro video game systems to. So like it's not great playing retro systems on newer televisions, and that's clearly like a really tiny 13-inch screen. But I was thinking of like trying to set it up somewhere where it would make sense, where I can just sort of sit in front of it like a computer and play some of my games. But then I looked it up on eBay, and I saw that people have them listed for 75, 100, 180 plus 112 shipping, 189, 150, 130 plus $50 shipping almost, 80 plus $88 shipping, 199, 100 plus $124 shipping. And then I went to the sold items, and I saw that that it's not just being listed at those prices; they're actually selling it around those prices. So this guy sold it for $150 with free delivery. This one sold for $100 with $60 delivery. This was $150 with free delivery. So it looks like it'll sell. This was $100 delivery and $70. 160 delivery. So I mean, it looks like people are willing to pay around $150 to roughly 170 ish total. 190 on this one with free shipping. That does have a remote with it though. I don't have the remote, so that might knock down the price a little bit. Those aren't the same ones now, so it was, if you want to see a better picture of what I have, since I don't have a since I don't have it close enough to the computer. Oh look, and that sold with a friggin' crack in the thing and everything, right? So yeah, it's got the DVD, AV inputs, yada yada. Anyway, my point being, now I'm tempted to sell it because I paid $5 for it, and if I can make like $1.25, even 100, it's not a bad turnaround. On the other hand, if I keep it, I'll have what I was looking for, which is a nice small-ish, not quite portable, but small enough retro gaming TV. So I'm debating that one. That one is a debatables. Also, you gotta ship that fucking thing, and that's like a little bit of a pain in the ass, but clearly people will buy it, so we'll see. Okay, that is everything. That has been my flea market score for this July 20th, 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna get going and get some writing done, and drink the rest of my coffee. So sound off in the comments. Let me know if you got anything cool this weekend. What was your favorite item that I picked up? And otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Breathe deep in the night. Bye.